Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Aurora Stefrak, and here I am with Translucent Truth Yoga to deliver you the weekly intuitive energy update for the week of November 29th, 2021. This is a timeless reading, so if you find this at any time beyond this week coming, then that's totally okay. That just means that you have a resonance with the information that is coming through for this week, and I invite you to listen anyway with an open mind, an open heart, and open eyes, okay? So welcome if you are new, welcome back if you have been here before. This week has some very interesting energies at play. A lot of what I'm going to be pulling through today, I don't even know what I'm going to be pulling through. I have a couple notes here that I've written, but yeah, I just kind of am more going to go intuitive this week. I know I do it every week intuitively, but some weeks I have more information, some weeks I have less. But it's always about an hour long because I could sit here and talk for a long time. Okay, so I just want to basically get right into it. So I'm going to talk about this new moon solar eclipse that is going to be happening on the 4th of December, which is going to be next Saturday. So all week we are going to be kind of building up to this this climax of this new moon solar eclipse. So there will be a big buzz probably this week with everybody talking about the solar eclipse. But here I am to bring to you what it means on a healing level and how this helps us to really connect to ourselves and our lives, our past lives, our current lives, our future lives, every life in between, and how we can kind of bring it all together and move forward as an integrated being. Okay, so this new moon is going to be in Sagittarius, okay? So I'm not really well versed in Sagittarius, to be honest. I know that they really enjoy adventure, they're very playful. Yeah, I can't intuitively talk about Sagittarius, so I did write a couple things down. So I have expansion. It's a fire energy, or its element is fire, and they have good fortune. They can be impatient, they can be careless, they can be attention seeking, but they can also be fun and playful, and they love to travel. Which is kind of the only really thing I know about Sagittarius. But I did just meet a Sag this week, and she's a beautiful being, so I'm excited to learn more about the Sagittarius sign and the energies of it. So first I'm just gonna really read through kind of what I have here for this new moon in Sagittarius and kind of what we might feel. So we may feel like we are searching for something, right? So because Sagittarius is really like travel and adventure, we are going to kind of be in this energy, but it's not just like surface level looking for something. Like we're really looking for meaning and for purpose, because a lot of us feel very disconnected from our lives because we just haven't put the energy into connecting to ourselves again. And a lot of, external circumstances, they really, they pull out our authenticity, like they take it away from us kind of thing. And they really want us to like fit this mold of society. And I think a lot of us are kind of starting to wake up to the fact that we actually don't want to be a part of the society that has been created, okay? At least for me, I'll speak for myself. I would love to create a new community, a new society, a new way of being, a new life, because honestly, I'm not really enjoying being controlled by the nefarious energies anymore, and I'm kind of over it, and it's kind of old news. So I'd really like to move forward, and I would really like to help people integrate and learn how to really like anchor heaven on earth and really move forward in a harmonious way, in a peaceful way, instead of suffering all the time, So yeah, we may feel like we are searching for something, and honestly, I'll just cut to the chase and tell you it is you that you are searching for, okay? It's always been you. It will always be you, whether you think it's in another person or in a thing or in a place or whatever. It is you. It is the version of you in that place or with that person or with that thing, okay? So what we are learning is how to really anchor in, like who we are as an authentic being in this present moment without any connection to anything else or anyone else, okay? I have here looking for meaning in life, which I have already touched on, right? And so we may start creating new goals, missions, or connecting to new philosophies that give our life purpose, okay? And so maybe you've never really thought, that you were a spiritual person, but newsflash, everybody's spiritual, whether they're aware of it or not. We are all spiritual beings on a spiritual journey, okay? And so maybe you're starting to kind of open up a bit more to the other side, more spiritual realms, just asking questions, like being curious, right? And so, like I just opened up my shop, so maybe you'll come swing by my shop and you'll be like, what is all this about, or maybe if you're not around here, there's metaphysical shops or spiritual shops that you can go in, and for the most part, most of us on this path are very kind and very respectful, and we really just want to spread the knowledge and the truth. So don't be afraid to go check out your local metaphysical shop. Most people will be so happy to show you the ropes and to, be that initiation for you into the spirit world. Okay. Another thing is like having an optimistic approach to life. What does that say? Oh, and a things will get better attitude, okay? So things will get better and being optimistic. So this is something that I think the collective has really been struggling with, especially when we look out into our external world right now. It can be very dark, it can be very dense, it can be kind of soul-sucking. And so that's why we're looking for more purpose. That's why we're wanting more meaning in our lives, right? And so kind of like as we start kind of gaining this new knowledge, this new momentum, this new direction for ourselves, it will allow for us to be optimistic and to be positive and to really feel like we can move into this next phase of our lives, and that it doesn't have to always be dark and gloomy, but we do have to go through that dark and gloomy in order to get to the other side, okay? So we will have this optimistic approach, and it's through being adventurous and wanting to learn new things and having an open mind and having an open heart. Okay. What else do I have here? That's really, sorry, I'm working on 2 pages today because I didn't feel like making a good copy. Yeah, so that's all I have for right there, but I have a lot of other information. What do I want to talk about? So, you know what? Let me just tap in for a minute, because I do want to talk about, like now that I've touched base a little bit on the Sagittarius energy, I do want to talk about the new moon and what the new moon represents, because usually I'll talk about that first, but because my notes are all wonky today. Anyway, apparently this is the energy coming, okay? Don't blame the messenger. So the new moon. So what does the new moon represent? The new moon represents, shedding energy. So it is the shadow aspect of the moon, right? It is when we are in full darkness, which means that we will have our shadow self surface. And this is a time for planting seeds. This is a time for sowing seeds, putting ideas into the ground, into our consciousness, into our life, so that we are able to, on the full moon, reap the reward, right? Because the full moon is all about reaping the reward and being in the light, okay? So right now, as we're entering into this this new moon energy, we're really being invited to purge, to let go, to plant the seeds that we want to bring forth, okay? So when we are actually consciously using this energy as we move forward, right? If you want to travel, if you want to do something, if you want to open up a new adventure, this is the perfect time for you to acknowledge this within your own being, okay? For it to manifest in the physical, okay? So we can really utilize this dark energy, this new moon energy to go within and to connect more to what it is that really has meaning, you know, that really has value in our lives, okay? And so this new moon is really inviting us to focus more on our healthy self. How can I be my healthy self? How can I take action to move towards my healthy self instead of going towards your shadow self, your darkness, your depression, your anxiety, all of these things that have power and control over you? How can you take your power back from these experiences to move forward? Okay, so this is really, the new moon is really like inviting us into to one, plant the seeds in the darkness, in the soil, but also to release and to let go of all of these shadow aspects that we don't want to carry anymore, okay? And it can be as simple as acknowledging something. Now, of course, there is action that needs to go behind it, but this first step is actually acknowledging it, okay? And then the second would be obviously taking action from that newfound awareness, right? And then we are having this total solar eclipse as well on the same day. So just to back it up a little bit to last week, was it last week? No, it must have been the week before. Oh yeah, last week was the portal energy. We were in the portal energy. So the week before, so 2 weeks ago, we had the full moon partial lunar eclipse, okay? And this week we are having, oh shit, what did I just say? Full moon. Last 2 weeks ago was full moon. Sorry guys, like my head is not here right now. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, the energy is different this week for me, and I feel really weird. I really do think it's because it's Sunday, but anyway, maybe it is also just the weekly energy. Like my head, it feels like my third eye feels like it's being blasted right now, which means like I have a lot of light energy coming into my third eye. This is why I keep closing my eye, because it's like, yes, I do have this ring light on, but it's not that. I was like feeling this before as well, and I thought, should I do it tomorrow? And then I was like, no, you just got to do it. So just giving you guys a little bit of authenticity here. That's why I keep closing my eyes, because it helps me to connect more, and to not like get distracted by this feeling. Anyway, it's really weird. Okay, yeah, so we were in that that full moon partial lunar eclipse energy. Last week we were in that kind of lull, that portal between, and now this week things are really going to start picking up, okay? So things are, and it's also coming into December as well, right? And Christmas time and holiday season, and move and move and move, right? So as we approach this new moon solar eclipse, we're really gonna feel this like pull, this like push and pull between our old self and our new self, our higher self and our human self, our healed self and our wounded self, all dualities and polarities kind of like pulling apart from each other. Okay, so have that awareness as we're going through this week, that that's kind of going to be the energy. And then as we get closer to this total solar eclipse, we will hit that peak of that energy, and then it will start kind of waning, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind as we are going through this week. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to just touch base here on the difference between the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse. So the lunar eclipse is all about, you know, it's more connected to the lunar energy, to the moon energy. So it will be more emotional, it will be more internal, and that's kind of where we have been. And now we are entering into this solar eclipse energy, and this is going to be more external, more action oriented, more like taking action in the real world, because for the last 2 weeks we've really been in our emotions, we've really been purging, we've really been processing a lot of our shadow self. And now this week coming, we are going to be taking the action that's necessary. And it's not necessarily because we like want to per se, it's just divine timing, right? It was just always going to happen that way, and it was always meant to happen in that moment, right? And so that's kind of the energy. So that's why we're also getting this like optimistic approach to life, because the universe is communicating to us and we're actually hearing it. We're actually seeing the signs, we're seeing the synchronicities, and we're taking the action where we need to be taking the action, and we're staying still in the areas that we need to stay still, and to listen, and to be soft, and to be vulnerable, and to be in the feminine, right? And so as we learn to play with this dance, with these energies, it allows for us to get into that rhythmic flow. Now, you know how I was saying we've been connecting to, you know, the heartbeat, the rhythms of the universe, and being able to connect. So what that means is that we have our ups and we have our downs. When you have your up, you have your down, then you have your up, and then you have your down. And then what happens, instead of us, you know, like being like, holy shit, now I'm really high, and then holy shit, and now I'm really low, and then holy shit, and then holy shit. It's like we get into a flow, into a rhythm that we will know, okay, cool, I feel the up energy coming. I'm high now. I'm high. This is good. Oh shit, now I have to go back down, and I gotta crash, and I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. Okay, now we're gonna go up, right? It's more like you're in tune with when the energies are high and when the energies are low, and when the energies are high and when the energies are low, right? And so when you can get into that cycle and into connecting with that universal flow, and with your own universal flow, then it creates flow, right? You get to be in the flow, and you get to connect to the ups and the downs, and you get to be fully present and fully integrated into all aspects of life, right? Because you can't just have the good stuff. You gotta have the darker stuff, and actually integrate that to meet the light self, right? To meet your highest self. Okay, so we're really learning our own rhythm, learning our own ups and our own downs, and our own emotions, and our own place in the world. And that's why we're looking for meaning. That's why we're wanting to be more adventurous, and why we're wanting to open up more, right? And so and again, that's that Sagittarius energy, right? And so that energy in this new moon, right? So things that don't serve us anymore, things that don't make us feel good, things that stress us out, and not in a sense of like I'm not taking responsibility for my responsibilities. It's that, you know, I'm realizing that I don't need to carry this any longer, and I'm gonna let go of it, kind of thing, right? And so instead of like feeding into all these things that don't serve us, all these things that make us feel like shit, we're just going to have this new aha moment and say, hey, you know what? That's cool. That's not for me. I'm going to go find where I'm valued, where I actually am appreciated, where I'm seen, where I'm heard, because that place does exist in the world for you, okay? There is a place where people are going to love you, and people are going to care about you, and it's not easy to not take things personally, or to not take things personally, but you're really being urged right now to not take things personally, okay? Because you know what, you can't control out there, you can only control right here, okay? And so how are you gonna deal with the emotions that come with the ups and the downs, right? That's really where your focus is. How can I keep myself centered, keep myself grounded, keep myself balanced all the way through this process, okay? And that's really why we're being activated into this this curiosity, this childlike curiosity. And maybe that has to do with Sagittarius energies, because again of that adventure. But again, I'm not well versed in the Sag energies, so but it does make sense that they do have that childlike energy about them, really wanting, like, you know, like the fun and the adventure and the newness. All right, guys, let's get into this. I have a couple notes here for the total solar eclipse energy. So for starters, this energy is going to have like a phoenix rising from the ashes energy, right? It is a fire sign. Sagittarius is a fire sign. And so, you know, when you have, like, the phoenix burning and rising from the ashes represents purification. So if you're sick of hearing me talk about purification, that's just being a human. We have to constantly purify, even our physical vessel, right? You pee, you poo, you sleep, your body digests, your body rests, your body processes, you eat things, it comes out of you. You know, that is just what being human is, okay? So we are learning how to purge. We are learning how to get out the toxicity out of our body. We are, you know, again, in like on a physical level doing that, but on an emotional and a mental level as well. So this will all be coming up, and will be really being asked to say, hey, is this serving me? Is this not serving me? Okay. And when it is, of course, proceed forward. And when it's not, then stop. Okay, because right now we don't have any extra energy to expend. Okay, we are exhausted, we are drained, we are sick of living the lives that we've lived so far, and we're all praying, we're all asking, we're all saying, okay, what's next? Like, when is this shit gonna be done, right? Well, there really is no time frame for it. Okay, the shit is done when you've dealt with it. Okay, it's like time does not heal wounds, guys. Like, that is an old paradigm, old belief. Time does not heal wounds. Intention heals wounds. Okay, actually sitting with your problems and bringing awareness to it and bringing love to it and bringing understanding to it. This is what heals wounds. You can heal lifetimes of trauma in an instant. Okay, and that is true, that is real, and we can do that. It is called quantum healing. Okay, and so when we can access our infinite potential, then we are able to basically collapse all these timelines. Okay, so that's really the energy that we're being activated into, which is this phoenix rising from the ashes energy, which I just love that analogy. I've always loved that analogy, and I've connected with it so deeply because, you know, we've all suffered a lot in our lives, and it's like, well, what are we gonna do with that? Are we gonna stay in the negativity, or are we gonna choose to rise above and move forward? And now, of course, we're being guided by all of our guides, by all of our beings in the spiritual realms, by the archangels, by our dragons, by our fairies, by all of these higher energies, by just the solar energy, you know. And so we're like learning how to access that part of ourselves again, our divinity, our wholeness. Okay, and so in order to fully embody our divinity, then we have to purge and purify our physical vessel, our mind, our body, our spirit, our emotions, every part. Okay, and so that's what we're really being initiated into. But again, it's in a very light way. It's a very natural way. It doesn't feel like you're having to put a lot of energy and effort into this change and transition, because again, divine timing, it was always meant to happen. Okay, so this total solar eclipse energy. So the first thing I'm going to talk about here is life review, okay, which I've already kind of touched base on. But the first thing I have is, are you ready to become a whole new you? Okay, because as I've been saying, we're purging, we're cleansing, we're purifying, and then we're able to step into this newer aspect of ourselves, this higher potential version. Okay, and so this is really going to need for us to reflect, to journal, to sit down, to slow down, to say, hey, what's happening with me? What's happening out in the world? What are my parameters? What are my limiting beliefs? How am I stopping myself from moving forward? Actually, breaking limitations is the second one here, so I might as well say it as I'm channeling this, because that's the next point, right? So breaking limitations. So how are you limiting yourself? Now, I gotta tell you guys a crazy story. This phone that I'm recording on right now is a brand new phone, because mine just decided to crap out on me yesterday, and I was freaking out, and I was like, oh my god, like, I just opened a business, like, I am freaking out, I need a phone, what do I do? So I listened to my intuition. I closed the store for a couple hours so that I could go and get myself a new phone and get it all sorted. I went and did a little bit of running around, and I ended up coming back to the store and opened it for the rest of the day, and it was all fine. Now, when I went to go and do that, so I got this phone. Of course, we have the Black Friday sales, right? And so thankfully, I got on board with that. So I got this brand new phone. I'm paying $10 a month less for the same plan that I was on, which I need unlimited data because I use a lot of data and I talk to my friends and whatever, like on Messenger. So I use a lot of data. So I got this brand new phone. I'm paying less than, of course I had to sign a 2-year contract, okay? So there are things like commitments that I had to make, but that's not a big deal. Nothing came out of my pocket yesterday for this phone. And also I got a $300 credit for the store. So let me go get it. It's so funny, guys. I just want to show you guys the abundance that, like we truly have access to when we learn to just listen to our intuition. So he wanted to give me 2 bags because I had so much stuff. I already didn't want a bag, but I needed one because I didn't realize I was going to have all this. So like I got, a charging box. I got an otter box. I got a screen protector. I got this cool like charging unit thing. I got my phone, of course, and then I got some headphones. These were like $70 headphones. I would never spend $70 on headphones, but now I have $70 headphones, and maybe I will one day because now that I've had a taste of this, maybe I'll love it. I don't know. And I also got like a little thing that goes onto your like heater, your vent in your car to put your phone on. So anyway, guys, I'm only showing you this because I want you to know, like, you have no idea what the universe has in store for you. Like, I was not expecting to get all this. I was literally, like, freaking out because my phone was dying. And I was like, oh, my God, I need to make an executive decision. What am I going to do? Closed the store for a couple hours. Went out, took care of business. Came back, everything was fine, even better than fine. I was over the moon with all the amazingness that the universe provided for me, right? And so when we learn to release our limiting beliefs, which was that, well, I just opened a store. Can I really leave the store for, when I just opened it, like on a Saturday too? Yeah, actually you can. Yeah, you can. And I did, right? And so it was like, if I limited myself to, no, it's okay, whatever. I also needed to get a new bank card and do a couple other things, right? So it was like, you know what? These things were stressing me out. And so I just decided, hey, I'm going to go take care of them. I'm going to go take care of me. I'm going to go figure out what I need to do so that I can be here and be present when I'm actually here. Okay, so breaking limitations, guys. This is what we are at right now. We are breaking through our limiting beliefs. The guy that actually checked me out at the store for all this stuff. Oh shit, my mom's calling me. No, don't ruin my recording. I'm gonna turn my do not disturb on. Okay. Got me sweating. I was like, no, that was half an hour. Okay. Anyway, the guy that ended up cashing me out, he wants to open up a skate shop, like for like skateboarding. And so I was like inspiring him and really hoping that he did. And who knows, maybe he'll watch this video because I directed him to my YouTube channel. But I was like, wow, this is why I love the universe, because it was like, he served me. I'm showing him, me and who I am. And I'm asking my questions because I had a lot of questions. And as we're speaking, we're like getting to know each other. And he's like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like you opened up a yoga studio, whatever. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's so great. And then he shared with me that he wants to open a skate shop. So I was like, bro, like you should open a skate shop. Like that's so cool. Like Sarnia doesn't have that. Sarnia doesn't really have anything. So I mean, hey, if you're in the Sarnia area and you have a passion for something, I think that you would do well, just because there's really nothing going on here and there's nothing here, right? So it's like anything is better than what is here, which is nothing, right? And so really, like, these adventures are starting up for all of us. And so the synchronicities are going to be aligning. We're going to be meeting the people that we need to meet. We're going to be asking the right questions. We're going to be receiving the right guidance. And this is all going to be coming from this new moon energy and this solar eclipse energy, right? The eclipse energy is like a reset point, right? It is like an ending and a beginning at the same time, right? And on a new moon, right? So again, more like shedding vibes, more reset vibes, right? Sweet. So then we have action and then more momentum. That's the next thing. So again, as we start taking the action, we're building momentum. So the more action that we take towards, our what aligns to our authentic self, to our truth, to our integrity, to our I was gonna say authenticity again. Whatever aligns to who we are as individuals. And when we make decisions from that place and move forward from that place, then our life starts aligning to ourselves, right? To who we truly are. And that action toward your center is going to build the momentum, because the universe is going to support you. If it is meant to be, it will flow, okay? It's when things keep hitting against a wall over and over and over again, you're clearly not listening. You're clearly not listening to the fact that it is not working, right? And so we're really being initiated into finding our flow state, okay? And last week, I'm just being guided to talk about the financial constraints being lifted that I talked about last week, because that's a huge part of being human, okay? Finances, it's a whole freaking can of worms, okay? And so we need to sit and we need to look and we need to really shine our light on our finances, okay? So I'm just bringing it up again just to kind of pull that energy into this week and bring that awareness to the fact that if we are wanting, like, if that is our block, figure out what it is inside that is blocking you from accessing that, okay? So, like, for example, I have all this shit now that I got from the phone place for free. I didn't pay anything. Well, I went like $33 over the 300, so I just was like, okay, instead of taking something off, I just paid that extra little bit, right? And so, it's available to us. It's just whether or not we are in the right place at the right time, which technically we always are, but the universe will show us through things that are happening in our lives. Okay, new energies, healthy self. So I know I've already talked about this, but I'm going to say it again. So we have all these new energies that are coming in with this eclipse energy, with this new moon energy, and we're really being guided to the healthy versions of ourselves. And we're really being repulsed from the non-healthy versions of ourselves. So the parts of ourselves that aren't healthy, we're just gonna have such an awareness and go, you know what, like, this just really isn't serving me. Like, you know what, I actually don't like you. Like, you don't have to tell anybody that, you don't have to say it to them, but within your own being, you can go, you know what, I really don't like it when my friends ignore me and never get back to me when I message them and I want to hang out with them. Okay, cool. I'm just going to stop messaging them then. And I'm going to call in friends that really want to hang out with me, that are going to call me up, that I'm not going to always have to be chasing, because it doesn't feel good to constantly be trying to hang out with people that don't seem like they want to hang out with you or aren't like prioritizing you. And like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that person having other things going on in their lives. But it's like, what are you going to put up with? How much are you going to bend before you are going to break, kind of thing, right? And so what is it that you will tolerate? Okay, so we have these new energies coming in that are really going to support our healthy self. It was just 33 minutes and 14 seconds, which is pie time. Okay, extra self-care. Okay, yeah, so then with all of this, these transitions and these new ways of being that we're going to have to integrate, our nervous system, our physical body, our mental body, and our emotional body are going to be going through the ringer. And so we're really being attuned to our, again, organic template from last week, right? So we're really being attuned to our organic template. And so we're really like tuning into our emotions and listening to our emotions and asking ourselves, why do I feel this way? Being inquisitive, being curious, like taking yourself on an adventure, like that Sagittarius energy. And that could be an internal adventure too, right? And so we're really being, guided to take care of ourselves, our nervous system, especially, which just means, doing things that help you to relax, making sure you're taking care of things before they need to be taken care of, so that you're not stressed out all the time about things not aligning and then feeling like your life is a mess, when really, if you just took the time before to get it all ready, you wouldn't be in this situation, right? So really, like, lots of sleep, lots of food, lots of water. My mom just went to a meditation today that I was going to go to, but I decided not to, because I had other priorities. It was just 34:43. And she said that they talked about food and what's going in our body, okay? And like the vibration of the food. And I don't know how to say this other than the higher sun content in a food, the better the food for you. And what I mean by that is, like anything like a pizza or like a burger or like any dead animal, that stuff is really gonna affect our physical body right now. And we're very sensitive to food right now. And the reason for this is because we're upgrading our physical body, and these things don't serve us anymore. Like, I'm not saying anything's wrong with eating meat. I eat meat. It's not like that. It's just like having the awareness that, hey, this doesn't serve me. This does not nourish me. Okay. And so now we're like flipping the paradigm from looking at food as just like something you eat, like a pleasure thing, to actually like what is nutritious for us, and how are we going to support our physical vessel to help us in our ascension and in our awakening. Because if your physical body is not at its optimal potential, then you cannot live at your optimal potential, okay? For me, it's that I don't eat enough, and I really struggle with eating just because I get stressed, I don't have an appetite, I don't eat, and then I cry because I'm like, oh my God, I'm so hungry, but I don't want to eat, and it puts me in this really weird, warped position of like not being able to eat, but needing to eat. Anyway, it's this whole cycle. So for me, that's something that I'd really like to break with this energy coming in, like I really, really, really would love to be on top of taking care of my eating habits and making sure that I'm prioritizing eating over, say, smoking, because I do smoke. And so it's like, instead of me having breakfast, I'll go out and have my cigarette and coffee, and that's just not serving me anymore, okay? And so recognizing that and actually choosing something different, which today I did. I made toast in the morning, but like it was because, again, my body, I was so hungry. I was like, oh God, I need to eat right now. Like, this feels great to actually have an appetite and to want to eat. So I ate and I had breakfast, and then I went on with my day, right? Instead of waking up and going outside and having a smoke, right? And so, yeah, so we're really being asked for extra self-care, okay? And sleep's a really, really big one too, okay? So just make sure you're getting enough sleep. Try to go to bed at a good time, and I need to take my own advice as well on that. Okay, cool. And then we have this push-pull energy, okay? So again, I did touch on it already, but there's going to be this push-pull, because it's like, of course, like part of me wants to, like stay in my unhealthy self, but then the other part of me is like, I know that I deserve better. I know how to take care of myself. So I need to take the action steps to actually take care of myself, right? And so there is this push-pull, but for the most part, we are being supported, okay? And within that push and pull, it might feel like, oh my God, this is really hard. This is really intense, but it will shift really quickly, okay? Because again, we're being supported. So have that awareness. And again, the rhythm of the universe. So when you have your highs and your lows, and you're learning how to be at a place of contentment in the middle of it, just watching the ups and downs instead of actually being on the roller coaster, right? Okay, and then we have reflection, purging, and accessing subtle senses. Okay, so we have reflection, purging, accessing subtle senses. So again, with the accessing subtle senses, that is talking about our intuition, our feelings, like our emotional body, our mental body, and our spiritual body, our higher self, our soul aspect, right? So we're actually getting access to this. And not only that, when you're in tune with all of your subtle energies, you're in tune with the whole universe, and you can feel everything. And I know, like, pretty intense, but the cool thing is that you're able to read people, you're able to read energy, you're able to see what people's intentions are, you're able to basically see beyond the veil, the facade that everybody puts up, right? And so when we can access these subtle senses, it allows for us to connect to our intuition better, right? And it's like if you do have a friend that isn't serving you, then you're able to realize and recognize that and really move forward from that, because you are going to stand in your sovereignty and free will and say, you know what, this isn't working for me. I'm going to move on now. Thank you. Reflection, purging, yes. Okay, so perspective shifting to personal health. Perspective shifting to personal health, yeah. So before we may have made decisions based on, like pleasing others, people pleasing, or societal standards, or, there was some type of external draw towards making your decisions, right? And now our perspective is shifting into only, what's the word? Only prioritizing, only focusing on, only deciding to make choices from a place of your personal health, okay? So, for example, I don't know, your friends want to go to the movies, you're not really feeling so hot, you don't really want to go, you'd rather sit at home and watch some cool, like, Santos Bonacci, or some Gaia TV, or some Elizabeth April, or some, Joe Dispenza, or Greg Braden, or all these really cool, amazing spiritual figures that are guiding us on our ascension path, or maybe even me. And so then you're going to choose to stay home and put your energy on your own personal growth, your own personal learning, more so than going to the, going to the movie to get more indoctrinated, So, yeah, apparently there's some type of, like, truth veil being pulled out, too, because, like, I seem to not have any, discretion. Maybe not discretion's the best word, but I'm just here today, guys. I'm transparent. I'm chilling here. I'm channeling to my camera. So again, perspective shifting to personal health. So always choosing our personal health with every decision that we make, whether big or small. And then we're focusing on things that fill us from the inside, okay? So we want emotionally fulfilling experiences these days, okay? So, going to the movie may not fulfill you emotionally, and so you're not going to choose to do that, right? And it may fulfill you emotionally, so you may choose to do that, right? Again, it always comes back to you trusting to your intuition, your own emotional guidance system, and what is best for you. Okay, and then I have endings and release, just to end that off there. So endings and release. That is what this week is going to bring for us, okay? So lots of endings and lots of release. Again, mentally, emotionally, physically. There may be a lot of headaches. That's what I'm hearing right now. Like, because especially at the beginning when I was explaining, like, a really, like, distorted energy that I was in. Really, like, have that awareness as you're going through the week. Even this energy update, like, it feels so weird to me, but I just gotta trust the process, because I've wanted to stop it a couple times, and I just didn't even entertain that thought, and I just kept bringing myself back to my center and trusting that I'm here to channel the right information for this week. So maybe the question would be, like, if you're, or not the question, the thing to kind of realize is that, like, if you're questioning yourself, if you're wondering, like, is this really for me? And there may be, like, that draw to kind of give it another chance, to kind of test the waters a little bit more, okay? And so trust that if you're being guided to do that. But if you're not, then don't. And just move forward, right? Okay, let's see what wants to get picked this week for the oracle. Okay, so I want this one. Definitely want the Fairy Tarot. And I was being called to this one. We want to see the Galactic. What's here galactically? What? And the Sacred Geometry Activation cards. Okay. So, let's see. It's 44:55. Let me go get a sip of water real quick. All right. So, let's see. Oh yeah, and these are tinctures, by the way. They're used to clear energy, to clear the space. They usually are used to open a ceremony and to close the ceremony. And that's about all I know about tinctures. But I feel them, and it feels incredible. Okay. So let's see what the fairies have to say. I guess spiritual senses are being activated. Spiritual senses. Which would be third eye and throat. That's what I'm hearing. Third eye and throat this week, okay? Oh, makes sense, right? Because, and it's so funny, I had a girl in today and she got a bracelet and it was too big for her, so she asked me to fix it, and I just said, I'll just make you another one. And then I was like, oh no, I don't have any more throat chakra yantras. And she said, oh, that's okay, I really like the third eye. So I gave her the third eye with her sodalite beads, which is all throat and crown chakra. So it's just funny how the universe works, you know? Like, if you listen, the universe can be very literal. Very literal. Okay, so this is the first card that came out. So, 2 of Autumn. Bring fun into everything you do. Juggling multiple priorities or jobs. An exceptional talent for multitasking. Which is kind of what I was saying earlier, right? With everything that's kind of coming in right now, like really having the capacity to be able to organize it, to be able to create that flow, right? And when we're in the highs and the lows and the highs and the lows, we aren't really able to access the fun of it because we're too busy being stressed out and being over here and being over there and being up and being down and feeling good and then feeling crappy and then all over and then being tired and then not getting enough sleep and not changing anything to actually have a better life, and then we're complaining all the time, and then we're negative, and then we're pessimistic, and then we wonder how we got to where we are, right? And so this energy coming through is reminding us to connect our inner child, to not take things so seriously, but also understand where the line is with your responsibilities, right? Okay, then we have 6 of spring. Wonderful news is on its way. Smart choices that bring rewards. Success and public recognition. Okay, interesting. So we are going to be getting recognized this week by our smart choices, which is so funny. And I think it's that childlike nature that's really going to allow for us to be able to be recognized right now in such an intense moment in human evolution. If we can bring that childlike nature into our reality in a way that is constructive, right? Not like being silly when you're supposed to be serious, but bringing in the light, inviting the light in, seeing the silver lining in situations. Also, I have had this crink in my neck all day and going into the right side of my shoulder and down. So I don't know what this is all about, but it's there. So if you're feeling that too, it's intense. And whenever you have a pain in your shoulder, it represents that you're carrying too much weight. So that's my right side. So that's the masculine. So the physical. So I feel like I'm carrying too much weight in the physical. And if it's your left side, then it's emotional, right? So you're carrying too much emotionally, which totally makes sense with me and why this is hurting right here, because I am doing a lot in the physical right now. I am carrying a lot. Okay, so the next card was 10 of Autumn, 10 of Autumn. Take steps to ensure the financial security of your children or other loved ones, making wise investments or planning for retirement, honoring family traditions. What did I just say to you guys? Taking the right steps. I'm trying to find it. This one doesn't like focus very well. Anyway, 10 of Autumn, guys. So yes, this is so divine. If you ever wonder why I love oracle cards so much, it's because they're literally speaking me language, okay? Everything that I just said. And I love it too because I have, it's Christmas coming too. This is so cool. Look, guys, I have this like green and red, green and red. So it came up in a pattern, green, red, green, red. Oh my God, even funnier, stop, go, right? So that can also be the energy too. So it's like, hey, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. So that might be kind of like energy this week that drives you crazy. But, you know, within that silence, within that quiet, you're able to access when to move. Right? So you only take action when you're guided, okay? So it's like if you're stressing about like a bill or something, if you're like, oh my God, I'm freaking out about that. I don't know how it's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how it's all going to work out. You need to slow down in that moment and you need to figure out strategy, baby. That's when you tap into your strategy and you go, okay, how am I going to make all this work? Where's my focus? Maybe you don't have to pay a whole bill off. Maybe you can just put $40 towards that one, $50 towards that one, $20 over there, and you can just use strategy to get through it for right now. Remind yourself that this too shall pass. This is something that will pass. Money comes and money goes. We're in abundance and then we're in lack. And while we're working on stabilizing that, you have to go with the ebbs and flows until you are in your stable field, okay? And then 5 of Spring, opposing goals arising from differing opinions, feeling at odds with yourself or others, and overly ambitious people. Okay, so funny. So there's that confirmation for feeling that like that pull between this world and you know, the one that we're wanting to live in, or you know, our healed self versus our healthy self, right? So we might, one part of ourselves might believe that, you know, like money is the root of all evil, and then the other part of ourselves, the more awakened part of ourselves, realizes that money is not the root of all evil. It is how we perceive it, and it is the greed within that is the root of the evil, right? Even though I don't even know how true that is. I just guess I kind of, I was gonna say made it up, but channeled it. I don't know, right? So there's going to be these opposing forces within us. We have the dark wolf and we have the light wolf, and the story goes, which one wins? And the answer is whichever you feed, right? If you're going to feed your shadow self, then your shadow self is going to be the wolf that wins. If you're going to feed your light self, then that is the wolf that's going to win. And the funny thing is, at my yoga training, they talked about that little story, and I was like, oh, of course it's the light wolf. What kind of question is that? The light always wins, or the truth always prevails. Now again, that's coming from a higher perspective and understanding, but down on this realm, down on this plane, that is the truth. The truth of it is, yeah, whichever one you feed, you're right. So we all have the dark and the light aspects. It's just, what are we choosing to feed? Okay. Wishes come true, dreams fulfilled, in a magical time of life. So this is another one from the fairy. 9 of Summer. Okay, let's see. I want 2 more cards. Oh, maybe this was a card. Immediate action, a challenge you can successfully manage, a passionate relationship. So Prince of Spring, charming, self-confident, passionate, and restless. So again, this reminds me of the Chariot, which is very forward movement energy. Okay, let's see. Oh, that one wants to come. Four of Summer, being distracted and failing to see a magical opportunity, taking someone or something for granted, and discontentment with life. Okay, so that's another energy that may be coming up this week, guys. Like if you're just feeling unsatisfied, if you're not able to connect to your gratitude, if you're not able to see the silver lining, then you're being asked to see the silver lining from the universe. Okay, let's go one more. What are the energies, just to tie it up? Give us one more that's gonna help to tie it all up. The Chariot. I just said the Chariot energies here. So success that comes from dedication and self-discipline, celebrating your accomplishments, and being in the spotlight. Okay, guys, so basically there's going to be a huge divide. There's going to be a huge split, and you get to choose where the heck you're going to end up. You know, if you do the work, if you do what you need to do, if you're being conscious, if you're being aware, if you're choosing to heal, if you're choosing to step into this 5D organic template, or if you're choosing to go into the AI and organic template, that is all up to you. You are the creator of your reality, and you get to choose what it is, like where it is that your life goes. Yeah, you can't control what happens to you sometimes, but you can control how you choose to show up in that, and how you choose to move forward, and how you choose to treat people. Okay, and so that is your choice. So this card is very clearly saying to me that it is your actions that dedicate where it is that your life goes, okay? So you cannot blame it on anyone else anymore. It's not your mom's fault. It's not your brother's fault. It's not your sister's fault. It's not your friend's fault. It's not, I said fart. It's not your partner's fault. It's not your kid's fault. It's nobody's fault. And stop blaming them, okay? Because it's just ridiculous. You need to take responsibility. You need to mature emotionally. You need to figure out how it is that you can figure out how to get to the next place in your life to be fulfilled, okay? So no more blame shifting, no more pointing fingers, no more saying that it's that person's fault for this or whatever. Just stop, because you're only going to drive yourself nuts. You're going to drive yourself into situations that you don't want to be in. So this card is saying, be aware of your actions, okay? I lied, I want one more. Be aware of your actions, okay? Really be conscious and aware. And if you're not being satisfied with what is going on in your life, then that is your choice. That is your choice to deal with it or to not, okay? It's really that simple. Princess of Autumn, studious, responsible, cheerful, and mischievous. Happy news about your career promotions or scholarships. Well thought out plans that go perfectly, and needing a little push to get going. Maybe me just saying, oh, that was your little push too, because that was pretty intense there. So yeah, just saying that, you know, like good things are coming, and it's totally in our power, in our vicinity. We're like so close to achieving what it is that we want, but we have to make sure that we're disciplined and dedicated. But the universe will provide, and it's really just about keeping your energy clear, guys. Like when I talk about your mental body and your emotional body and your physical body, these are the things that create your reality, your thoughts, your emotions, what it is that you're taking in, right? Whether it be food, or whether it be shows, or whether it be just any content, any information, the radio, whatever, everything. We are like radio transmitters and receivers. So we're just like in this sea of energy. Like everything is energy, right? And so I am energy, but this is a physical manifestation of an energy, okay? This is all atoms. These are atoms that are vibrating in a configured thing, whatever, molecule, atom, whatever. I don't really have the words for it right now, but basically all of this is energy. And so what is in your energy, okay? And that is how you are going to get to the next place, by listening to what is in your energy. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? What are you doing? What are you eating? What are you, like, are you exercising? Are you, you know, like actually working your mind, or are you numbing your mind through eating, through smoking, through doing all these different things, right? And only you will know that, right? Haha, perfect way to end it. Ace of Spring, it's time to take action, be fearless, and happily pursue your most treasured dreams, amazing career opportunities. Okay, so basically, guys, it sounds to me like there's going to be career shifts, okay? And so that is what's going to help our financial shifts, right? And so it totally makes sense with my life, with me opening a store and everything, and freaking out because I have no money right now, but knowing that it's coming and trying to figure out how to juggle it all right now in the middle of this eclipse energy and season, right? It's like, how can I get through this part? And I know this too shall pass. And that's what I want to remind you of, is that this too shall pass, okay? And so we're really being guided to trust ourselves, to trust our actions, okay? And release on the bottom. Let go of the past, an ending that makes way for new opportunities and time to move on, okay? And 13 is like a very spiritual number as well, okay? So it's like the very connected to the moon. There's 13 moon cycles, which then is connected to the high priestess energy, which is our intuition, that divine feminine energy, our soul, okay? Okay, that was gorgeous. That was beautiful. Now let's get into this Galactic Heritage deck real quick and see like what beings, what lessons are kind of coming through on a galactic level. Now, I know I talked to you guys last week about ancestral healing, okay? So this is ancestral healing. Ancestral healing is basically what it is that we were born into, on a physical level, on our human level, okay? So ancestral healing is what was passed on to us through our DNA, through our familial traumas, okay? So family traumas that were passed down. So whatever your mom went through, whatever your dad went through, whatever your grandma went through, whatever your grandpa went through, and whatever, whether or not you know them or not, you still carry the trauma, okay? And so that's what we were going through last week. And now this week we're gonna, hey, it was 10111. This week we are going to be connecting to our galactic selves, okay? So let's see what comes through. The first thing is Earth. So we have progressive desires. Nice, cool. So what I get with that is, with the Sagittarius energy that's coming through, we're really being, of course, encouraged into our healthy self and into our spiritual side and into having an open mind and all that stuff. So this is really like our desires, like they say in Buddhism, like you can't have desires, which is like, honestly, to be human is to have desires. So it's just like, how can you balance out your desires and know what desires from the ego and what desires from the soul? Because to me, I desire from my soul all the time, and that's for, like, you know, peace and harmony and love and connection and, you know, all that. And so where's your desire coming from, actually? This is the question this card is presenting. So what are you desiring, and what part of yourself is this coming from? Is this a wounded aspect of yourself, or is this a healed aspect, okay? That's what you're gonna be needing to ask yourself. But you are having progress, okay? You are progressing. You just have to be aware, what am I desiring? And everything you desire creates an energy field, and so you will attract that. Sometimes it's not how we think it will manifest, but it will still come, right? And so you have to be conscious and aware of your thoughts and of your emotions and of your desires, okay? So that's really cool, because out of all these Galactic Heritage decks, that's the one that came through, right? So it shows, again, that we're really integrating these lessons into our physical human body, into our physical human psyche, into the emotional body, okay? The spirit is entering into the body. Birth and expansion, Lyra, okay? So the Lyrans, oh look, there's 13 again. So the Lyrans here. So I want to look at that real quick. 13, birth and expansion, Lyra. Okay, so as the Lyran civilization grew, it unleashed a tremendous amount of creative energy. There was so much excitement to build this new civilization and expand into the galaxy. It was a time of optimism, enthusiasm, and creative experimentation. This card reminds you of the ancient time that you were a part of, and it encourages you to once again find that creative spark within you. Don't be afraid of your creativity. There were times when you were punished for it, but that reality has passed. It's time to release the karmic patterning of fearing your creativity and trust the universe to support it. Yeah. Okay, guys, so good. So these two together are encouraging us to tap into our creativity again, okay? So there's nothing wrong with the desire. It's just, where is this desire coming from, right? And that will either perpetuate that, or it will you'll keep getting blocks from the universe that'll stop you from going forward, right? And so then here the Lyrans are reminding us, and they're the cat beings, right? So they're reminding us to tap into our creativity. And now that's how we're going to create the financial flow of abundance that we've been wanting, okay? So that's why I'm saying we need to let go of our limitations. We need to access the more healthy, authentic, true versions of ourselves so that we're able to actually move into this new paradigm, this complete new way of seeing the world, of feeling the world, of understanding the world, coming at it from an energetic standpoint so that we're able to actually, clear our field in a way that doesn't sound foo-foo, that doesn't sound like, I don't understand what she's talking about. How are we supposed to do all this stuff, right? And so to really alchemize our financial flow right now, we're really being urged to focus on our abundance, but our creativity, okay? And so how can you get more creative, okay? There's like some quote out there that's like the only poverty in the world is a lack of creativity or something like that. Because if you, I'm a rat in the Chinese zodiac, and so I see myself as a rat too, because I'm very I just make things work. I can make something out of nothing. I can oh my God, okay, yeah, I need money. I'm going to go figure out how to make it, right? Especially when I was in Australia, I used to busk and play music outside. So outside stores and stuff like that to make myself money. So so we're really just being encouraged to get more creative and to do creative endeavors. Maybe you really like woodworking, maybe you really like painting, maybe you want to clean. That could even be creative to you, whatever it is that gets you moving in the direction that fulfills you. Yay, equal value philosophy, the Pleiades. Nice. Okay, let me read this one. 86. And I think we have past, present, and future here, guys. Yes, we do. We have past, present, and future. What a gorgeous read, because not all of them, you don't have to pull this, I could have gotten all past or all present or all future or whatever, right? But this is showing us, again, that we are so in alignment and in divine timing, and that whatever's going on in your life is just preparing you for the greatness that's coming. Okay, so we have equal value philosophy. Humans have gotten used to polarity and inequality. However, the Pleiadian philosophy of equal value sees all things as equal, such as gold and a stone. When they exchange with others, they do so from a place of equality, and the exchange becomes one from the heart rather than for profit or gain. This card asks you to examine your emotions about the fear of not having enough, the issue of fairness, the difference between wants and needs, and always wanting more. Equality of all things is a universal principle, but we must first heal our fear of lack before we can fully embrace this principle. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. And that is the barter system, guys. That is what I always tell people is that, what, there is going to be a financial collapse, and there is going to be some crazy shit going down. And the thing that is going to have value is a service, okay? Which is why I'm good, I'm protected, I'm safe. I've been working on my services for a long time. And, so if you don't have a service, if you don't have a creative outlet, if you are still a part of the matrix of the system that wants you to work 40 hours a week and then basically have no life, you're really being invited to start getting more creative to find a way out of that, okay? Again, I've been doing this for about 5-6 years or so, trying to get out of the system and stuff, right? And so, on the top here is leaving home. That's so perfect. And that's a parallel. We have past, present, future, and parallel. Check it. Okay, I'm almost done. I'm trying to be fast, but an hour and 8 minutes. All right, let's see what we got here. Throat chakra right on the bottom. And this is the Activation Oracle Guidebook. And then I gotta call me mom because she called me. See what's going on in her world. All right, let's see it. Let's see what's going on. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Yes. Okay, huge divine feminine activation as well this week. Okay, give me one more. Okay, Cool. Authority. Okay. So we have prosperity. We have Sacral Chakra. And we have Divine Feminine. No big deal, guys. No big deal. And then we have authority on top, okay? All right, so basically just a quick little rundown for this. So the sacral is our creativity center, okay? Prosperity has come through to affirm that, yes, get creative and this will create your prosperity. If you want to tap into the Nikola Tesla 369 infinite energy, then this is your answer. Connect to your, I almost said, well, I didn't, but it sounded like Kundalini was going to come out. Connect to your sexual energy, connect to your creative energy, purge and heal from this chakra this week. My really good friend actually was just having issues with her womb space, and so I sent her home with a black tourmaline, and I said, keep this on your womb to help to purify and cleanse that area, because I'm sure you have stagnated energy and different energies that are stuck and trapped there. So I gave her this black tourmaline to keep with her, right? So clear out your sacral, which is all past sexual partners, which is any sexual trauma, anything like that. And again, the Divine Feminine is here to guide us on this path. So this is just confirmation. This is to say, hey, and the Divine Feminine is the creative energy, right? And authority. So what I'm really hearing is like, allow for the feminine to be your authority, the loving, the nurturing, the kind, the creative, the sweet energy, and maybe not so sweet too. It could be like Mama Bear Kali Ma energy too, right? And so it's like, allow for that to guide you, okay? So we're really being urged to connect to our sacral, to connect to our divine feminine essence, heart chakra. And this is what is going to create our prosperity. So no, I am not crazy. Hey, look, fertility as well. So we're very fertile right now with ideas. So really nourish those ideas. Remember, with this new moon coming, this is the time to plant seeds, right? So this is a fertile time to plant seeds. What a good confirmation here. And let's get one more for the road. Synergy. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. Yay! What a perfect way to end it, guys. That is just incredible. And a 41 too to top it off, and 4 plus 1 is 5, and 5 is all about change. Okay, guys, that was such a beautiful reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you have a really good week. If you're interested in booking a one-on-one session with me, I do them here, but I can also do them online if you are not local. So just send me an email, aurora@translucenttruthyoga.com. I will also put it down below. If you are interested in that, then we can definitely sort that out. Wow, what a juicy reading. Thanks for like bearing with me, because I was really feeling weird today doing this energy update, but obviously I'm back in my energy now, I'm tapped in. So I'm sending you guys so much love. Have the best week ever. Mwah. Toodaloo.